Before I start, I just want to acknowledge we have two other councilmen here, Dan Gary from Ward 6 and our councilman at large, Dan Anderson, are here. And in a few minutes, you'll be hearing from our fire chief, Todd Unger, our assistant police chief, Matt Tartaglia, both residents of the city, by the way. And I'm especially honored to introduce Jackson Heim. Jackson Heim is our canine officer, as you can tell. But what's really important about Jackson, he just received several important awards. He was given the Lake County Blue Coats Award for Distinguished Service. And then he recently won the Medal of Honor from the Lake County Association of Police Chiefs. So these are the kind of officers that we're here to support and firefighters that we're here to talk about and support tonight. So you're probably asking why issue 2 and why now? Everything's changed in law enforcement. Everything has changed in terms of our facilities. We face a number of challenges. 40% of crimes committed in Lake County come from people outside of Lake County. That's an important statistic to recognize. The criminals are different, the crimes are different. We're arresting 15-year-old car thieves now. So what we're seeing in our city today from both the crimes themselves and the criminals are far different than we've seen over the years. All of these gentlemen are here for one purpose only. They're here to protect us, keep us safe. So we took, as John mentioned, over the years we've studied or we thought about a safety levy. And it hasn't been till recently. We did a study in 2021 to look specifically at our police department facility and do a master plan. And that plan was meant to evaluate our facility as it exists today and compare it to what a state-of-the-art police facility would be. The current facility is about 25,000 square feet. The master plan came back with a facility that should be 45 to 47,000 square feet. But that's just one part of this equation. The other part of the equation is our police department is aging equipment. And then finally, we have a lot of ongoing expense capital needs every single year to make sure that our police officers and our firefighters are equipped with the best and state-of-the-art equipment. So getting back to the police station, I mentioned three things. Police station, fire, we have a pumper that we're going to talk about, an aerial truck that we're going to talk about, and then ongoing needs. The first is our police station. You could see some pictures here of our jail cells. Our jails does not meet current state codes. They've changed. The prisoners have changed. I mentioned a second ago, we're not just dealing with guys getting thrown in the drunk tank for a weekend. We're dealing with men and women and juveniles, and some of them are suffering from mental illness. So this is a much different environment now. Our dispatch, in the past 10 years, our dispatch calls have risen 25%. So we are making a lot more calls than we have over the years. And both of our departments have grown. With the calls, the departments have grown to try to keep up with them. Some aging infrastructure in terms of the police department. You see on your left, the electrical panels, those punch panels you see for the phone system, those phones aren't even made anymore. Those are analog phones. In the middle, we have serious storage problems. There is just not enough space in that building to keep our records. And I failed to mention an important part. As part of our jail and a part of incarceration and a part of crime investigation, we have to do chain of custody for evidence. And right now, although we're getting by and our chain of custody is secure, there are better ways to maintain some of the things that we're bringing in as part of our policing efforts. So in the middle is storage, and at the far right, our mechanical equipment, our boilers and our hot water tanks, our roofs, windows, the exterior envelope, they're all in need of repair. These boilers are outdated, and they are right now they wouldn't meet current code for energy efficiency. So the solution. We were fortunate sometime early last year to be approached by Meister Media, Gary Fitzgerald, who's the chairman of the board there. They have downsized from about 120 employees to 30, and they're going to relocate their offices. And they'd come to us and said, look, we're going to move our offices out of the city. We just want you to know. And we're not abandoning the city. We still love you. But our company's telling us we must get smaller. Through that conversation, our economic development director, Tom Thielman, came up with the idea that the building would make a perfect police station. It's not the 47,000 square feet that we would anticipate. The building's much smaller. With additions, we think we can get it to about 37,000 square feet. But it's in great condition, built in 1989, new roofs, new mechanical systems. So we approached Gary and asked him if he would consider selling it at appraised value. Gary's been a long-term supporter of both the City of Willoughby and our police department more specifically, and he agreed. So we purchased the building actually, we closed on December 16th of last year. That purchase price was about $2.5 million. The second part of the equation is our aging ladder truck. This vehicle is 26 years old. Its useful life is 20. Beyond that, the thing is 47 feet long. It's just a hard vehicle to navigate through our city, and especially some of our smaller neighborhoods, like up in Congressional and some of the the condominium developments. It's hard to get this truck in there. The chief's going to talk a little bit about the response to the Maroos fire that John talked about a second, and kind of explain how the vehicle performed in that. This building was built in 3 different suppliers. The chassis, the frame, and the ladder itself were built by 3 different manufacturers. 2 of them don't even exist anymore. So the solution is smaller vehicle. This ladder truck has the same reach as a 47-foot vehicle. It could also double as a pumper, and it's also about $200,000 cheaper than replacing the vehicle. This vehicle, by the way, is $1.4 million. So replacing fire equipment is not inexpensive. And then lastly, we have ongoing capital needs. We buy police cars every year. We buy squads, every 3 years. A squad is, Chief, what is that, about $320,000, $350,000? A car fully equipped is $60,000, $70,000. And beyond that, we've got day-to-day equipment. The Chief will talk a little bit about some of this, but we've got equipment inside the cruisers themselves. We've got MDTs. We've got the dash cams. We've got a lot of equipment in those cars that have to be replaced because they age out. And on the fire side, some of the things that we have to replace are, the jaws of life or hydraulic saws. They come in kits. Those kits are about $30,000 to $40,000 for one of the kits. We got EKG equipment that we need to replace. Each one of those is about $30,000. So there's the equipment that we replace, that we have to replace, is just simply expensive. And it's becoming increasingly hard for us to run those expenses through our general fund. At the end of the day, I said at the beginning, what this is about is making sure that our police department and our fire department have the best tools at their disposal to keep us safe. So what does this mean? What does issue 2, the May 2nd ballot, the safety levy, what does it mean for us in terms of dollar and cents? Issue 2 is a 2.5 mil levy, and it's on this May 2nd, as John had mentioned. It will cost the average, a homeowner of a $100,000 house, $88 a year. Very few of us live in $100,000 homes. So the average home, by the way, in Willoughby is $197,000. So if you about double that, that's what it's going to cost a $200,000 house. That's the equivalent. The $197,000 appraised value, that's the equivalent of 50 cents per day as an investment in our safety forces. The good news is that we have an existing 0.5 mil levy for our firehouses that come off in 2024. So there'll be a little bit of relief in 2024. And as I'd mentioned, it's to keep our neighbors safe, but what's really, really important here is that it cannot be used for wages and benefits. These are for capital purchases only. The police station, police equipment, and fire equipment. So these are kind of obvious benefits, right? What do we get out of this? First of all, safe cities attract new businesses. We get calls about several things every time a business wants to relocate. Schools, obviously, but the other one is, how are your police and fire doing? We all want to be safe. When we go downtown or go to the North End, we want to feel comfortable and safe. I know in the summer, when everybody's out and about, you'll see a strong presence of our police officers. It helps our home values. Keeping the neighborhood safe has a direct relation to increasing value of our homes. And then finally, and I know this for a fact because I polled it, our community supports our police and fire. I mean, they really, in a poll I did several years ago, we have 99% approval rating of our police and fire. A little bit higher for fire because they don't give tickets. So We're proud of them. These are, I can tell you, because I've sat on the Civil Service Board as an observer, none of these people get to their positions without really intense scrutiny. These are the best of the best. And it's not, and oftentimes when I swear these officers in, I will welcome them to the best police or fire department in the state of Ohio. Congratulations, guys.